The mind that believes becomes a magnet for ideas. Once you truly accept that you can achieve something, your subconscious begins to gather information, insights, and opportunities that will help you reach it. You notice things that were always there but unnoticed before because belief sharpens your awareness.
Yeah.
It makes your vision clear. It changes how you interpret challenges. What once looked like an obstacle becomes an opportunity to prove your conviction. What once seemed impossible becomes merely difficult, and what once seemed distant begins to draw closer. Belief transforms how you think, how you act, and how you see the world. Every act of creation is preceded by belief. The painter must believe in the picture before the brush touches the canvas. The builder must believe in the structure before a single brick is laid. The leader must believe in the vision before anyone follows. The entire process of creation begins in the invisible realm of thought and faith. When belief is absent, ideas remain formless. They have no direction, no power to move into reality. But once belief enters, the idea begins to evolve, to attract energy, and to demand expression. It is the difference between a dreamer who fantasizes and a creator who materializes. Belief also provides endurance. When difficulties arise, and they always do, belief keeps you steady. It gives you courage when circumstances seem hopeless. It reminds you that every setback is temporary, that behind every challenge lies an opportunity for growth. Belief gives your vision roots so deep that no storm can uproot it. Without belief, even a small obstacle can cause surrender. But with belief, even great trials are seen as stepping stones. It allows you to persist long after others have quit because you are sustained by an inner certainty that your goal is possible. The power of belief extends beyond the individual. It shapes the world. Every great movement, every invention, every discovery that changed human history began because someone believed it could be done. The power that moves nations begins as the faith of one mind. The mind that believes does not wait for permission, approval, or evidence. It acts first from conviction, and only later does the world catch up. The skeptics who once laughed become the witnesses of what faith has built. Every transformation begins in one believing mind that refuses to bow to doubt. Belief is not merely thinking positively, it is knowing without seeing. It is confidence born from inner vision, not outer circumstance. It is the realization that creation begins and ends within the boundaries of your own thought. The moment you decide that something can be done, you begin to set in motion the unseen currents that make it possible. The moment you doubt, those currents stop flowing. The creative force of the universe responds to belief as surely as a shadow responds to light. To believe is to command, to create, and to become the master of your destiny. Doubt is the silent thief of destiny. It enters the mind quietly, disguising itself as caution or realism, and begins to weaken every dream that tries to take root. It whispers that your goals are too big, your abilities too small, and your chances too few. Doubt poisons imagination, drains energy, and replaces vision with fear. It convinces you to delay action to wait for a better time, and that delay soon turns into paralysis. Every person who has failed to reach their potential has at some point surrendered to doubt. It is not the lack of opportunity that destroys progress, but the lack of faith in one's ability to seize it. Doubt is the internal enemy that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Faith, on the other hand, turns invisible thought into living power. It changes how the mind functions, how decisions are made, and how obstacles are faced. Faith ignites courage. It gives thought substance and direction. When a person believes without reservation, their thoughts gain intensity. They begin to think with clarity, plan with confidence, and act with authority. This transformation does not happen through magic, but through the natural law of the mind. Thought alone is potential energy. Faith converts that potential into movement. Just as a spark transforms cold metal into molten steel, faith transforms passive thinking into creative force. When doubt is present, the mind divides against itself. One part dreams of progress while another part resists. This conflict drains energy and breaks focus. The person who doubts cannot move forward with strength because each step forward is followed by hesitation. Progress becomes uncertain, slow, and painful. Faith removes that inner conflict. It unites thought and emotion, purpose and action. Once a person decides to believe, the mind stops scattering energy on fear and begins to concentrate it on creation. That concentrated energy becomes power. The power to do, to build, to persist, to transform. Faith is not blind hope. It is intelligent confidence. It is a calm awareness that ideas backed by conviction will produce results. Faith does not wait for circumstances to be perfect. It acts and makes them so. Doubt, however, waits for proof. It wants guarantees before taking a step. But no proof appears until faith acts first. The man who waits for certainty never begins, and his dream fades before it ever sees the light of effort. The man who moves with faith begins where he stands and uses what he has. His action attracts opportunity, his courage inspires others, and his persistence opens doors that doubt would have left closed. The greatest minds in history were not free from failure, but they were free from doubt. They understood that every difficulty was part of the process of creation. The faith gave them the strength to see beyond setbacks. Where others saw defeat, they saw lessons. Where others gave up, they grew stronger. Faith does not eliminate struggle. It transforms how struggle is perceived. The one who believes uses hardship as fuel. The one who doubts uses hardship as an excuse to quit. Faith gives meaning to effort, while doubt drains it of purpose. Faith also strengthens imagination. A mind that believes can see possibilities where others see problems. It dares to dream bigger, think higher, and plan further. Hop further. Doubt confines imagination to the limits of logic and past experience, but faith expands it into the realm of potential. Faith allows the mind to visualize results before they exist, and that visualization becomes a blueprint for achievement. When thought and faith unite, they form an unstoppable creative partnership. The idea begins to attract the means of its fulfillment. People, resources, timing, and opportunity all appear as if summoned by an unseen force. Doubt disconnects you from that creative flow. It narrows focus to what is lacking instead of what is possible. It makes you count your weaknesses instead of your strengths. It forces the mind to dwell on fear, and fear magnifies obstacles. Doubt is like fog on the road of life. It blinds vision and makes every step uncertain. Faith clears that fog. It lifts the spirit above the circumstances. It gives the mind wings to rise where the doubter crawls. It replaces confusion with certainty and hesitation with motion. Faith does not eliminate fear. It overpowers it through conviction. The transformation from doubt to faith begins with thought. The moment you choose to believe that something is possible, your subconscious begins to align your habits, emotions, and focus with that belief. The mind obeys conviction. It starts finding reasons why you can instead of reasons why you cannot. This shift in internal dialogue creates energy, and that energy expresses itself through boldness. You begin to act differently, more confidently, more decisively. You speak with authority because you now see your goal as inevitable, not impossible. Faith reprograms the entire system of thought. Faith also attracts faith. People are drawn to those who believe in their mission. A confident person becomes a leader naturally because others feel inspired by the certainty they radiate. Doubt repels assistance, for no one wants to follow the uncertain. Faith invites cooperation and builds momentum. It multiplies its power through influence. A single person with unwavering faith can ignite belief in hundreds. That is how movements begin, how revolutions are born, and how great dreams spread. One mind believing so strongly that others begin to believe too. Doubt feeds on inaction. Faith feeds on progress. Every small step taken in faith strengthens it. Each victory, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that success is certain. Doubt grows only in minds that hesitate, while faith grows in minds that dare. The more you trust your vision, the more evidence you create that your belief was justified. Doubt fades when action begins. Faith is both cause and result of progress. It starts the motion and is strengthened by the motion it creates. Faith transforms weakness into strength. It converts fear into energy. It turns ordinary individuals into creators of extraordinary results. When faith takes root in thought, it lifts that thought above the limits of circumstance and allows it to operate under the laws of creation, not the restrictions of doubt. The universe aligns itself with a mind convinced of its purpose. Every force in existence responds to certainty, and every circumstance bends itself around conviction. When a person holds a definite purpose with unshakable belief, life begins to reorganize itself to make that purpose possible. What seems like coincidence is often the universe arranging events in answer to that inner clarity. The mind that knows where it is going sends out a vibration so strong, so consistent, that opportunities, ideas, and people begin to appear at the right time. It is as if invisible hands move the pieces of the puzzle into place once you decide with absolute conviction what picture you are determined to create. A mind convinced of its purpose operates on a different frequency from one that is uncertain. Doubt scatters energy, but purpose concentrates it. When your mind becomes fully absorbed in one definite goal, you no longer drift between conflicting desires. You no longer waste strength chasing 10 directions at once. Instead, all of your thoughts, emotions, and decisions begin to point toward one destination. That alignment creates momentum. It activates a deeper part of your consciousness, one that connects to the universal intelligence that governs life itself. In that state, every act, every idea, every conversation begins to move in harmony with your vision. The person who is unsure of their purpose struggles because they are at war within themselves. One part of their mind wants one thing, another part doubts, and a third part hesitates. The result is confusion and inaction. But when a person defines a purpose so clearly that it becomes an obsession, everything begins to simplify. The path becomes visible. The same challenges that once looked impossible now appear as necessary steps. The same environment that once seemed unsupportive now provides lessons and opportunities. The world has not changed. Only the mind's relationship to it has. There is a power in the universe that cannot be seen, but can always be felt by those who have learned to trust it. When you align your thought with a definite purpose and infuse it with unwavering belief, that power begins to flow toward you and through you. It connects you to the right circumstances, the right timing, and the right guidance. What others call luck is simply the universe responding to direction. Those who drift without purpose are like leaves in the wind, moved by whatever breeze blows. But those who live with intention are like ships with sails set firmly toward a port. The winds may shift, but their course remains steady. The law that governs this alignment is precise and impartial. The universe reflects the dominant belief of your mind. If you are convinced of success, life will bring you opportunities to prove yourself right. If you are convinced of failure, it will bring you evidence to confirm that as well. The universe is a mirror, showing you not what you wish for, but what you believe. That is why conviction is so powerful. It commands circumstances. It instructs reality. A mind that believes with absolute certainty sends out a signal that cannot be ignored by the forces that shape existence. Every breakthrough begins when the mind stops questioning whether something can be done and starts declaring that it will be done. That declaration, when held with deep emotional conviction, becomes a creative order issued to the universe. Thoughts are not weak, empty things. They are units of energy. Each thought charged with belief moves outward and attracts elements that match its vibration. When you hold a definite purpose with persistence, you send that vibration repeatedly until it gathers enough energy to manifest in your life. The results may seem miraculous to others, but to you they are simply the natural response to faith and action. This alignment does not mean that life becomes free of struggle. On the contrary, it means that every struggle becomes meaningful. The dreamer quits when recognition disappears because his motivation depended on external approval. The doer continues in silence because his motivation is internal. He believes in the worth of his goal even when no one else sees it. This inner conviction becomes his source of strength. When the outer world rejects him, his belief reminds him that the outer world always follows the inner world, not the other way around. The great achievers of history were not those who never failed. They were those who refused to stop believing after they failed. Each defeat became a seed of greater wisdom. Each setback prepared them for larger success. Failure taught them resilience, and resilience multiplied their power. Belief kept them moving when logic said to quit. It made them see light in darkness, progress in pain, and opportunity in opposition. The mind that truly believes is indestructible because it draws strength from within, not from circumstance. Failure is not a wall built to stop you. It is a gate built to test you. The key that opens it is belief. Every person must face that gate, and how they respond determines the course of their life. The dreamer sees it and turns back. The doer sees it, knocks it down, and keeps walking. The doer understands that failure is simply the universe asking, "Are you ready to receive what you asked for?" And belief, unshaken and fearless, answers with action. A disciplined, faith-driven mind can turn invisible ideas into visible reality. The mind is the greatest workshop of creation, where all things are born before they appear in the physical. Every invention, every success, every empire that has ever existed began as an invisible thought. The difference between the one who merely dreams and the one who manifests is discipline, the ability to hold a vision steady until it takes form. Faith provides the power to believe in what is unseen, and discipline provides the structure to make it real. Together, they form the secret machinery of creation. Without one, the other is incomplete. Faith without discipline becomes wishful thinking. Discipline without faith becomes mechanical labor. But when faith and discipline unite in a single purpose, they become unstoppable. A disciplined mind does not wander between doubt and desire. It focuses, directs, and refines its thoughts like a lens concentrating sunlight. It knows that every thought is a seed, and that careless thinking is wasted energy. Discipline is not about suppression. It is about mastery. Mastery over one's impulses, emotions, and focus. The mind that has not been disciplined is like a wild horse running in all directions, burning energy, but going nowhere. But the disciplined mind is trained to move with precision. It chooses its thoughts consciously, rejects those that weaken it, and nurtures those that strengthen its purpose. Wow. Such control is not achieved overnight, but with patience and repetition. Each day that you command your thoughts, your mind grows more obedient to your will. And each day that you neglect it, your thoughts grow more rebellious. Faith gives life to discipline. It keeps the heart strong when results are not yet visible. Faith whispers to the disciplined mind that the effort is not in vain. It gives meaning to repetition, to sacrifice, to patience. Faith is the inner conviction that the unseen is already real and only needs time and persistence to appear. When you combine this conviction with steady discipline, you enter the realm of creative power. You stop chasing results and begin producing them. The universe itself seems to respond differently when it encounters a mind that works with faith and discipline. Opportunities appear where there were none. Ideas flow effortlessly, and timing begins to work in your favor. This is not coincidence, it is alignment. The mind that believes but lacks discipline often starts with enthusiasm but fades with time. It dreams vividly but acts inconsistently. It prays for results but fails to prepare for them. Without discipline, faith has no structure to express itself. It becomes like lightning without direction, bright but momentary. On the other hand, a disciplined person without faith may work hard but without inspiration. He becomes a laborer without vision, a builder without a blueprint. He may accomplish tasks, but not creation. The union of faith and discipline bridges this gap. It transforms effort into achievement, work into art, and persistence into power. When you discipline your mind, you begin to control the laws that govern your reality. You start to realize that thoughts are magnetic, that what you think with conviction and consistency begins to move toward you. The disciplined thinker does not allow negative thoughts to take root, for he knows they poison the soil of the mind. He replaces fear with faith, worry with confidence, and doubt with determination. This control is not easy, for the mind resists guidance. It prefers the comfort of old habits. But every time you resist fear, every time you choose faith over doubt, you strengthen your ability to command creation. The mind driven by faith is not disturbed by appearances. It understands that physical results are the final stage of the creative process, not the beginning. First comes thought, then emotion, then action, and finally manifestation. The undisciplined mind reacts to circumstances. The disciplined one creates them. Faith allows this process to continue even when there is no evidence. It sustains effort during the invisible stage, the stage where most people give up. The disciplined, faith-driven mind does not surrender to impatience. It continues its work silently, knowing that every effort is forming something unseen beneath the surface. Greatness has always belonged to those who mastered their minds. The strongest armies, the richest empires, the greatest discoveries, all were the products of disciplined thinkers. They understood the law of cause and effect, that thoughts are causes and results are effects. They did not beg life for success. They created it through sustained focus. Each morning they renewed their purpose. Each night they examined their progress. And through this repetition, they carved their vision into reality. Such discipline may appear rigid to the lazy, but to the Creator it is freedom. For the disciplined, faith-filled mind is free from chaos, free from fear, free from the pull of mediocrity. Faith also refines the moral strength of discipline. It ensures that power is guided by purpose, not by ego. A disciplined mind without faith may achieve, but it often destroys in the process. Faith keeps the discipline noble. It reminds the thinker that his power comes from harmony with higher laws, not from rebellion against them. When discipline and faith walk together, creation serves life, not vanity. The inventor uses his power to elevate others. The leader uses his influence to build, not to dominate. The Creator understands that the same universal power that allows him to shape his destiny also holds him accountable for how he uses it. A disciplined, faith-driven mind is never defeated because it does not depend on chance. It operates by law, not luck. It plants, nurtures, and harvests according to principles that never fail. It knows that persistence always produces results, that every cause has its effect, and that the universe always rewards aligned effort. Such a mind no longer asks, will it happen? But simply continues until it does. It becomes a force of nature, silent, steady, and sure. Nothing can resist the will of a person whose faith fuels their focus and whose discipline channels their power. The invisible becomes visible for the one who believes and persists. What begins as a mere idea grows into a plan, the plan into effort, and effort into accomplishment. The disciplined, faith-driven mind transforms vision into experience.